Imagine a sea with no shores, no beaches, no cliffs, no land at all. Just endless golden seaweed floating in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, trapped by invisible ocean currents. This isn't science fiction. This is the Sargasso Sea, the only sea on Earth defined not by land, but by water itself. For centuries, sailors feared it. Scientists are still amazed by it. And today, it's changing faster than we can understand. What was once a mysterious golden world is becoming something entirely new. Welcome to the most mysterious sea you've never heard of. In 1492, on his first voyage to the New World, Christopher Columbus sailed directly into these waters. He wrote in his logbook, "The sea was so thick with weeds that our ships could barely move forward." He believed he was very close to land. He was wrong. For the next 300 years, sailors dreaded this region. They called it the graveyard of ships. Masts would snap under the weight of the weeds. Hulls got completely tangled. Entire crews would disappear without a trace. But it wasn't sea monsters. It wasn't curses. It was the sargassum, the golden seaweed that gave this sea its name and its deadly reputation. Here's the craziest part about the Sargasso Sea. The Sargasso Sea has no land borders whatsoever. It is completely surrounded by 4 massive ocean currents that together form what scientists call the North Atlantic gyre. These currents act like invisible walls, constantly circling clockwise and trapping everything inside. Anything that drifts into this giant gyre stays there, including billions of tons of floating sargassum seaweed. The currents keep the water and the weeds spinning in one giant, slow-moving vortex. It's the only sea in the world defined purely by ocean currents, a floating, golden world spinning quietly in the middle of the Atlantic. Those beautiful golden weeds you see floating on the surface aren't just decoration. Sargassum is a complete, living ecosystem all by itself. It creates huge floating islands that drift in the open ocean, islands that support hundreds of species found nowhere else on Earth. Tiny shrimp, unique crabs, and specially adapted fish hide deep inside the weeds for protection. Sea turtles use these floating forests as nurseries for their young. Even baby fish find shelter here before heading out into the vast open ocean. It's like a giant floating rainforest in the middle of the open ocean, a complete world that exists only because of these golden weeds. Every single European and American eel on Earth begins its life in one single place. Adult eels swim thousands of miles from rivers across Europe and North America, all the way to the Sargasso Sea, just to spawn. Once they lay their eggs, the adults die. From those eggs hatch tiny, transparent larvae, almost invisible. These tiny larvae then ride the ocean currents back home. The journey can take up to 3 years. When they finally reach the coast, they transform into glass eels and then yellow eels, swimming up rivers to live for 10 to 50 years. Scientists still don't fully understand how these eels navigate thousands of miles, with no map, no compass, and no experience. It remains one of nature's greatest mysteries. Over the centuries, the Sargasso Sea became the very heart of one of the world's most famous legends. Ships vanished without a trace. Compasses spun wildly. Planes lost radio contact and disappeared. The Sargasso Sea was blamed for it all. But the real reason was much simpler. The Sargasso Sea is famously calm, with very little wind. Sailing ships could become completely trapped for weeks in the thick mats of seaweed. Without wind, they had no way to move. Modern science shows that most of the mysterious disappearances had perfectly normal explanations. But the legends, they still live on to this day. Today, the Sargasso Sea is in serious trouble. Massive blooms of sargassum are exploding in size and washing up on beaches from Florida all the way to West Africa. These rotting mounds can be several meters thick, destroying tourism, killing marine life, and releasing toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. On top of that, the same currents that trap the seaweed also trap plastic pollution, creating one of the largest garbage patches in the Atlantic. What was once a pristine golden ecosystem is now becoming a floating landfill. Climate change is making the problem worse by warming the ocean and altering currents. The golden paradise that amazed Columbus and sailors for centuries is rapidly turning into a warning sign for the entire Atlantic Ocean. The Sargasso Sea reminds us of something important. Some of the most powerful and mysterious places on Earth have no borders, no flags, and no owners. This floating golden world has existed for millions of years, long before humans ever sailed across the oceans. We can study it, explore it, fear it, and even pollute it. But in the end, the sea with no shores still does exactly what it wants. Perhaps the greatest mystery of the Sargasso Sea is that it continues to exist exactly as nature intended. So tell me honestly, would you dare sail into the sea with no shores? Would you step onto a boat and drift into this golden, mysterious world? Drop your honest answer in the comments. I really read every single one. If you love real, mind-blowing stories about the raw power and mystery of our planet, smash that like button and subscribe. See you in the next one.